gosh, I'm so excited for today, you guys. This is going to be amazing. So we have an author spotlight today. This is in the FanGrrrl Romance Rex, Urban Fantasy, Romantasy, Paranormal Romance Facebook group. Okay. But we're broadcasting kind of everywhere. So we're broadcasting in the big Facebook group of 46,000 people. We're broadcasting in the After Dark group, which is like steamy contemporary romance. That is about 6,000 people, 5,000 people, somewhere around there. And then in the Authors Corner group, which is like 1,100 people. And then on Instagram, on YouTube, and also in Jen L. Graves group. So really, really exciting, you guys. I just can't it just blows my mind, the technology that we could just broadcast everywhere. So yeah, it's exciting. So, okay, so today on the spotlight, we have three amazing authors joining us. We have Ella Dawes, who is a new author. She just had her first book published, and it's a romance fantasy. Then we have Emily Shore. She has been publishing for a little while. She does a lot of monster romance and dark romance. And then we have Janelle Gray, which you guys know. She has been, man, she's a rock star. She's been publishing for a while, and we'll get to hear all about that. And she has a lot of books out there that have been on the bestseller list on Amazon. So just really exciting to have just these wonderful women join us for the spotlight. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull each of them on separately, and they are going to talk to us about how they started writing and what they write and what books they have. It's kind of a short spotlight for each person, and then we'll join for a panel and we can see your comments. If you will allow, I'm actually going to switch over there to right now. If you will allow Restream access, oh yay, people are already commenting. That's awesome. If you will allow Restream access with your Facebook access for your name, we can see who you are. Right now, I just see Facebook user in the comments. So make sure you give, oh, there's lots of people saying, Jane Gray, Jane Gray, Jane Gray. That's very exciting. So make sure you give Restream access so that way we can see who you are, okay? And if you have any questions, drop them in here and we're gonna try to answer as we go. All righty, you guys, so I'm gonna bring in the first person. I'm so excited. Here comes Ella. Hi.
Hi, Rebecca.
You doing?
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming on. This is so exciting. It's in particular exciting for me because I've seen you in the Facebook groups for a long time. Like
Yep.
how long have you been in the original, the OG group, the big one?
Probably, I don't know when you started it. It feels like 2 years, but
Okay, yeah.
I think it's around the beginning. It was after another, and this is as a reader, another Facebook group had paused, that gave out all like the romantic fantasy, romantasy, some paranormal romance, and then I came upon yours, and you had everything I loved. So there was everything. So I've been. This is by far my favorite book rec group by far.
That's awesome. That makes me so happy to hear. That's cool because we try to make it a good place, like a book bestie feel, like
Oh,
just
and
where
that's it.
everyone's.
It's so positive, and no matter what your taste is in books, within that sphere of magical romance, you're going to get a ton of recs, which is awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people join the group and they'll say like their TBR list has just exploded,
Oh yeah.
Or like I get a lot of people join the group that aren't KU, and there's so many KU recs in the group. There's just so much love for indie authors in this group that they say, okay, I've done it. I've bit the bullet. I'm KU, and then they love it, which is great. Which is absolutely great. Okay, so I remember you in the group a lot because we're in Author's Corner, right?
Yep.
Asking for tips and advice on being an author as you started this journey.
Yep.
And you just published your first book.
Yep.
How exciting is that?
Tuesday, the 26th.
The 26th. How's it going?
It's going good. It was it's going really well. I'm getting great feedback.
Okay.
It's super exciting. I'm ready for a nap, I'll say that much. But it's a lot of fun. It's crazy how many types of emotions you go through actually publishing a book. I'm sure this is every time you publish a book, but first time you kind of don't know what to expect no matter how much you prepare. Things are going to come up. But it was absolutely, it was phenomenal. And I think by far my favorite part of it is getting like all the DMs from people telling them how much they love it, how much they enjoyed your book. It's so much fun to see that something you threw your like all of like I throw a lot of myself in my book, you know, past experiences or some of your like your characteristics about yourself, you kind of throw those into your character. So to hear that people like enjoy that and love that and enjoy your stories, there's just like no other feeling. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. And like I said, for me, it's just really cool to see somebody like join the groups and start writing through. You know, they've always wanted to, but maybe the groups kind of inspired them, and they got some help and some feedback. And I saw different posts from you over time, and it's just so cool to see. And then now you did it. You're published.
I did. I
You
know
did.
it's like 20 years later. I
Yeah.
think I wrote my first somewhat book was when I was 9 or 10. I can't remember the exact age, but it was a Buffy fanfic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome. Well, so like, so I do want to, well, we are going to talk about your book, but I do want to say that there is a reading team for FanGrrrl Romance Rex that we have, and we do that because it's a long-winded story. I'm not going to bore everyone with it, but basically, there's a featured author spotlight in the group that gets on the newsletter and yada yada yada, and I pick out those authors, but there's only so many authors that I can read, right?
Yeah.
So we came up with this reading team that reads these books. And then if they love the books, they do a recommendation in the group for that author, which gives them some visibility. And then if they think it's something that I'm gonna love because they know what they've heard all kinds of stuff that I get into, they'll send it my way. And your book was sent my way, which was a huge like I think just compliment, like altogether, just it was amazing. And so I did start it, and let me tell you, the first chapter, it was amazing. You have to like, excuse me, I do not know what this is, Florida, and I'm like, I told you before we started, I do not know what. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry, it's just driving me crazy.
Your hair
It's like
looks
popping up
good.
in
It
my
looks
face.
fantastic.
It's just you never know. Like, and it's raining outside. It's like outside the windows and all that. But yeah, I mean, like it's not often that a book is sent my way, and this one was, and the person who sent it to me, she's not a romance fantasy genre person. She's a paranormal romance person. And so the fact that she read it and she loved it, and she's like, Rebecca, you need to read this. That was really cool. That was
I
really,
know.
really
I
cool.
I did that whole girly squeal thing
Yeah.
when you messaged me like 2 days after I said it. You're like, she loved it. She read it like a day. I did. I did a really girly squeal and might have freaked out my husband just a little bit, but
That's great. That's awesome. So tell us about it. What's the name of your book?
okay.
And
So
obviously, we know it's romance fantasy, but show it to us and tell us.
yes, so this is To Bleed a Kingdom by Ella Dawes, me, duh, right?
Yay!
So it is a dark and quirky fantasy romance. It's set in the city of Saboya. And the city of Saboya has been closed off for over 30 years from the God's Curse, which is a neighboring kingdom, and their slaves, I guess, they're soulless slaves, which are like vampire, zombie-like creatures. So Saboya has closed itself off. They've got their walls, their borders. But our MMC Darius has noticed that there's like an increased activity with the soulless. So he's concerned that there is, something more sinister at play, that the God's Curse are working against him. So he pretty much is trying to convince the rulers of Saboya to look into this more and to see what's going on. But since the last attack, they're so fearful of uh, inciting another battle, any issues with them, that they almost deny the obvious signs that trouble is to come. Um, and then, so he's the captain of the guard. He's trying to find out ways to prove to them that there is, trouble brewing. And then in comes our FMC, Lena. She is an outsider. She comes in with her group of friends. She comes in under pretending to be a merchant, but from the get go that she has another mission. She's an unreliable narrator, so you don't exactly know what's going on until she lets you in on it. And Darius it's not insta love, but it is definitely insta attraction between them. So she's a big distraction for him. He's the alpha possessive MMC, very territorial, morally gray, touch her and unalive type MMC. So, but there's a lot of tension. It is a slow burn. It builds up. The tension's super thick, but once they get to the spicy scene, it's pretty spicy. So,
Good.
but pretty much they get thrown together. They try to fight it the whole time.
Yeah,
And as
that's good.
secrets unravel and stuff, they actually, as secrets unravel, they end up being kind of forced together to deal with the issues going on. So there's lots of action, there's lots of secrets, there's spice, there's a big found family presence in there. So it's a very fun and humorous read. I will mention that you do need to read the content warnings. There are read the content warnings. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We're all readers. Just read that one page because they do have a crass sense of humor. So kind of similar to like a Ruin of Roses type humor or like Shelley
Okay.
Lawrence or G.A. Aiken. And there's some really um, dark events in there that people need to be aware of that could be triggering to many.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
No,
fun, it's
I would.
adventurous, lots of action, and sexy.
Yeah. Good spice then. That's good. That's awesome. So when I picked it up and I started it, so I try to start all the books before I do a spotlight, and obviously this one was sent my way too. And there's just so many books out there to read. When I started it though, it's very good writing. And I
Thank
was
you.
blown, like I was pulled in immediately, like immediately. It's an action scene right at the
Yep.
beginning, very action. And it's also, if you have triggers, you're going to get hit soon, like fast and early, right? So read the author's note, right?
We
With that,
do.
and not to give too many spoilers, but yeah, I loved it. I was really impressed, and I'm really anxious actually to get back to it. So
Well, thank you.
yeah,
The
yeah,
one
it's
thing I
great.
would
I
like
really,
to point out is like with some of those triggers, they're not romanticized. I know some people like, that, but it's not romanticized. It's pivotal to the plot of the entire series and what the characters' motivations are from here on out, which is why it was done that way, I guess you could say. But yeah, I throw you right into it.
you do right off the bat. And I did notice too that you already have people giving you some really favorable reviews. Like I know, like I think you mentioned already on Amazon. I can't remember if you mentioned that before we start going live or during the live. I can't remember because we were talking earlier. But even in the Facebook group, in my Facebook group, I've seen people say that they love the book and
Yeah.
that they think it's as good as, what did they tell me? I'm trying to think. They think it's up there. I don't know if it was Fourth Wing they said, but they said it was up there in romance fantasies that they enjoyed just as much as they enjoyed. I
I
think
have not heard
not
that,
not
but
that it's like Fourth Wing. No, I read a comment about it because I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's a really amazing comment.
really,
Yeah, it must have been in the group. They were like, I really love this just as much as that. So that's a huge praise.
that's a
That's
huge praise.
huge
I
praise.
mean,
Yeah,
I kind of it's shocking. I'm completely honored. I'm just
I swear I read
it's
it. I swear
strange.
I did because I
It's
remember
strange. I'm
thinking,
so grateful, but it's strange to hear some of that stuff because I still got that imposter syndrome going on. Because
yeah.
I've been a writer for forever, but I've been an author for barely a week. So
Well, and it's, and I think during the panel would be a good thing to talk about the different genres. I know we kind of mentioned that maybe we would do that, but specifically because all three authors on the spotlight are so different, and then
Mhm.
that way people watching can get an idea. But yeah, yours is a romance fantasy, and that's what I heard, anyways, when on someone's comment, because Fourth Wing is also a romance fantasy, so different though. I mean, you don't have dragons, right? But different. So,
We'll
but anyway.
see. It's a 5-book series.
So, just before we close out here, what got you to start writing? I mean, I know I made some assumptions, but
Honestly, I don't know if it stemmed from like fairy tales that I read as a child and stuff. I have always enjoyed storytelling. I
mhm,
genuinely cannot remember when I first started writing. That was, I know the first like full book I started writing, and that was and a 9-year-old size book where I was 9 or 10 then. It was more of an outlet. I mean, there's two things that always, when things were difficult, when I had trouble with anything, there was like two coping mechanisms, and there was humor, and then there was writing. And my mind's everywhere all the time. So I'm constantly creating stories. Like, I mean, I've got probably 30 books in my brain just right now that just kind of pop in there today, and I want to do it. So I've always wanted to, I've always been a writer, and I think it was just like an outlet to kind of, to get through everything, to cope with certain things that you're not necessarily, it's the easiest way to escape, just like we do with reading. You read to escape. I write to escape as well as with reading. But now, it's more at the age I am now. It's so much fun, or it's more of, it doesn't feel like work, but it is, you're working on it now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, and stick around, obviously, for the authors panel. But
Okay.
thanks for coming on, and this was just so much fun to like finally like see you in person after all this time.
I know what you look like. I'm like, hi, bestie.
Well, funny story is when you first, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. When you first came on, we all meet the authors. I meet everybody ahead of time. And so Ella comes on. She's the first to join the studio before I went live. And I'm talking to her and I'm just blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was talking to Emily Shore. Her name says Ella because you talk to authors, but like I talk to a lot of authors, but you see their Facebook profile pictures. It's like this
Like the
big.
big.
And there you are, tiny on there. And then same thing with Ella too. And like your picture was kind of over her, like on this graphic on the screen. It was kind of like over her name, and my brain was just like, oh, that's Emily. So, yeah. And so
Honestly,
this
I
is the
was
whole conversation
relieved. I
with
was
you as Emily.
I was so relieved when you were like, wait, I thought you were someone else, because I mean, sometimes I have my ditzy moments, but I forget a lot of
What she
things.
say?
So I'm just like, oh, okay, it wasn't me, it was her this time. So
And I figured it out. And then I had one of those moments where I was like, do I tell her or do I not tell her? Yep, I'm telling her.
oh, that's fun. It made me feel better. I was like, phew.
Anyway, so thank you for coming on, Ella Dawes. I appreciate it. And we'll see you here in a minute.
All right.
I'm pulling you out. All right. Oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing, you guys. Sorry, I'm just like, just, I literally just was talking to her, like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, oh my gosh, you're not Emily Shore, you're Ella. Embarrassing, but is what it is. Okay, anyway, so I never know where to look with this thing, so sorry about my eyes. But anyways, so we're gonna bring in the next person here, and I already introduced her, but I'm gonna introduce her again. And she's gonna like, okay, you'll just see. Let me bring her in. Emily Shore! She's in a coffee shop, you guys.
Yes, I am. And my local
She's in a
coffee shop
coffee
is
shop.
very quiet right now. So,
That's
hi.
awesome. It just the background looks amazing, and I've never had anyone tune in from a coffee shop before, so you are the first.
This is my happy place. So, my nice little writing space with all this positive energy everywhere. And the smell of coffee doesn't hurt.
Oh yeah, I love coffee shops. It's just very chill, it gives the good vibes. And you right there, you said, yes?
Yes, I depend on the caffeine. So, I have a $5 ream level that's like specifically for my caffeine fund.
Oh my. So how much coffee do you drink in a day?
Actually, I do not drink coffee. I love the smell of it, but I hate the taste. So I drink green tea,
Oh, green
lemonade
tea.
every day. Like I have the same exact order, and the barista's already like when they see me come in, they'll already start to make it. So
Oh,
they
that's
know me
great.
very
That's
well.
awesome. So how long do you spend there, like on a date, or like are you there all day long?
Varies. Depends on when I go to sleep at night. Because if I go to sleep, if I stay up late writing until 2 or 3 a.m., then I don't typically get here until about 1 p.m. the next day. But if I actually go to bed early and I get up at a decent time, then I'm here about 11, 10 o'clock after, making breakfast, feeding the cat, and doing all the home stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's cool. I think that in our heads as readers, like when we think of like, sometimes you read stories that have the character is an author and the author's writing a book like with it like a book within the book kind of thing, like the story itself is the character is an author writing and they're like in a coffee shop writing. I think like we all kind of romanticize that, like we glamorize it like in our heads as readers. Like we're like, oh, that sounds really cool. I want to be there at that coffee shop. And there you are, you're legitimately doing it. So that's just so cool to see that side of it here on the live. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
I think it evokes a sense of nostalgia and comfort.
it
So,
does. Well, they say that too with writing, like authors should write about sense, right? Don't they
mhm.
say that with writing that you should write about sense in your books to
I'm a
make that
very
connection with the reader?
sensory driven author. Yes, I do a lot of sensory, a lot of emotions, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us what you write and what books you have out. I know you have a few there on your
Yes,
lap.
so I think it seems like I have been publishing longer, but that's just because I'm crazy. Like, literally, I should be examined for being crazy because I just literally finished 8 back to back releases in 7 months. So, just to give you a clue, one right after the other.
Wow.
It wasn't exactly planned. The
So
books that,
you mean
oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
you mean you started writing them? Like all the books you started writing them and then published them in
So
that
I
time?
actually started my rebrand back in 2021. That was when I started my rebrand. I was like, ignore everything I wrote before because it was crappy. It wasn't my voice. It was young adult. It was clean. And now I'm writing Monster Smut. And oh, funny little
Yes.
fun fact here. A few months before I started writing dark romantasy and spicy stuff, want to know what I was doing?
What were you doing?
I was in seminary.
You were.
I was in seminary. Then I became a
Wow.
smut author.
Wow. That's a story for you.
Yeah, I
How did
was
that
also
happen?
I was also that good little church girl who snuck peeks at the smutty section at the bookstore. So, but I grew up in a religious cult. I also grew up in a very abusive background. So I was very
Oh, I'm
much
sorry.
suppressed. I was suppressed for a long time. And writing was my escape growing up, was my coping mechanism. I
Mm.
literally started as soon as I could learn the ABCs. I started writing books. I could never do short stories for the life of me. It's just always long books. My daughter is the same way. She's 10 years old and she wrote her
Oh,
first book when she was 8 and she was so proud to show it to me. So, little
oh,
other fun fact.
that's
But
sweet.
yeah, I wrote my baby book, my kind of coming out book in 2020 fall. I wrote 3 books back to back in 3 months, and they were definitely my baby books. And the highlight of my career, my life, a little bit of everything will be 2 readers who came to me, read my baby book, and they said that it stopped them from committing suicide. So
Wow.
still touches my heart to this day.
That's
You never
wow.
you never really know the impact you make as an author. You never really know the full impact, but just being able to hear something like that just keeps you going, keeps you writing.
Oh,
Just
wow. Wow. Wow, that's something else. Wow, I bet you. Oof. Oh my goodness. Um, well, so the books that you have now, though, those are so the ones that you have. Show me what do you have in your lap? Let
yes,
me see.
this was the book series that took off for me, and so you can see they've got lovely little decorated
Oh,
edges there.
pretty.
That's from Painted Wings Publishing. But this is the first one, and it took off for Stuff Your Kindle Day, and it took number 1 in Dragons and number 3 in Romantic Fantasy. And it's called The Sacrifice for those who can't read backwards, because I
Yes.
can be dyslexic at times. But yes, it's still trending on KU to this day. I just released the fourth one. It was not the plan. I did not want to release it that fast, but KDP would not let me cancel the pre-order. So,
Oh
um,
no.
so the fourth one is this one, and it's called The Salvation. Basically, it's about a girl named Contessa, and she's been numb all of her life. She is a half ghost, half of her soul is gone, so she's
Wait, okay, hold
literally
on.
walking around. Yeah, go
The
ahead.
wait, the story, this is the first book or the fourth book?
Yep,
Are they all the
this is
same?
the
Is it
first book.
in all the
Yep,
books?
all the same
Okay.
series, all the same characters. Yep, so
Okay. So I
it's
actually
been
started reading. Sorry.
which one?
Go ahead.
Which one?
I actually started reading that last night, and I thought the main character's name was really unique, super unique. I loved it. And you just said it, but that's not. So you're saying Quintessa, right? Isn't that what you just said?
Kin. I said Quintessa, but I believe you could say it Quintessa either way you want to. So I just say
Quintessa or
Quintessa.
Quintessa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a really unique name, and that you said that she's half ghost. I also thought that was really unique too, as well. I don't pick up a lot of books that have a character that's like that, so that's really cool. Okay, sorry, I'll
Yeah.
let you keep talking. I
Oh,
didn't mean
you're
to interrupt
fine.
you.
Yeah. Half of her soul was stolen at birth, and so she's been left completely numb because of it. And then she is very much rejected and abused, kind of like a little bit of my background thrown in there. But she is a total hedonist. This girl is so touch starved, so attention starved because of the way she's been treated all of her life. She also has really cool scars and tattoos all of over her body. I actually had a reader after reading this come to me and just say how validated she felt because she has scars that are visible and Contessa does too. So that was really special. But Contessa is sacrificed to the monster gods. They are cursed gods who come through the Veil of Souls once a year on Halloween, and they hunt down maidens and devour them. So these guys are very much dark. They're very dark, very morally gray, if you like all that. Um,
So I want to stop you there because I'm actually reading this and I don't want spoilers myself.
okay,
But I want so you can talk about the characters, but no more plot points. I think you gave a
okay,
good plot point. No, I hate spoilers, and I started reading it last
yes,
night, and I'm looking forward to picking it up tonight before I go to bed. So just don't spoil it for me, woman.
okay.
But that
So
sounds
we got
it,
yeah,
I
we
just
got half ghost. We got dragon god of fire. He's the dom. He's the leader of the group. Then we got the fae god of earth, who is Mace, and then we have the fallen angel Cayenne, who is the god of air. And then we have Merrick, who is my boy. He is the sadist. He is the really dark, broody one, and he is the god of blood slash water. He's the
yeah,
vampire of the group. So
okay.
that's just a little bit of um, the characters right there, but I won't say anything else. I won't spoil. So
Oh, well, when I was reading it, I was thinking this lady must love Halloween. That's what I was thinking.
I
Do you love
do,
Halloween?
I do.
Yeah.
I was banned from ever participating or liking Halloween growing up, and
Oh,
then
from your
so
upbringing, sure,
now
yeah.
so now I have a mild fetish for it.
If someone's asking, is this an RH romance?
RH
All
reverse
right.
harem, yes, yes,
Yes,
it
it
is,
is.
and each boy in the group has their established romance to established partner before Contessa comes along, and there is very little conflict and jealousy. I'll just say that much. It's non-fetishized, male on male, actual relationships. And they get vulnerable and they get deep. I'm a member of the queer community, so I this was actually my first time writing male on male romance, and apparently I did it really well, and people loved it, and they loved the relationships between the boys as much as their relationship with Contessa. So that was very special. And oh, a fun fact about this, I will tell you. And I know you were going to talk about reviews and like 3-star reviews and how they're bad with
During
Amazon.
the panel, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I will share that my favorite review ever, it was for this series, this very book, and it is a 1 star. So that's
Rating.
different. And this
Is that
one
why?
star actually, it makes a lot of people laugh. I actually turned it into an ad, and it's my best ad out there. And do you want me to just read the quote really quick?
Sure, let's read the quote. Sure.
Okay.
As long as
So
it's not vulgar, right? For being live everywhere.
no, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
It's very much what I'm known for. So
I see Ella laughing on the side. I can see all the authors on the back side of the stage, and she's laughing about the vulgar comment. Yeah, I can see you. Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
why
Read your
does the
quote.
dragon? Yes, why does the dragon have 2 dicks? I don't understand. So this
Because
book
it's
is
monster
about.
slut. Hello.
So this book is about a horny half-ghost human girl who loves to fudge vampire dragon and angels. That's it. And I turned this into an ad, and I started it with #goals.
And obviously, did you put it on TikTok or Insta? I bet you it probably did pretty well there if you did.
I actually have not put it on Insta yet. I put it on Facebook, and that's where it's going really well. On Insta, my brand new Dragon Mafia series has taken off on Instagram. So I've got one post that's just blowing up with likes each day. That's really special. That one is exclusive to Kindle Vella though, but because I just finished 8 back-to-back releases and I am tired. I need a break. So I just put it up on
Take
Kindle
a break,
Vella.
girl.
Yeah, and that one is just very special. Where I was like, why couldn't I think of this last year? Darn it! But I was just in my my reader group, and I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to write a mafia book, but I don't know how to do that because I'm a fantasy author, and like, how would they get out of sticky situations if they can't fly or turn into, oh my god, dragon and mafia? And then I'm like, put it together. And I got the first book complete on Kindle Vella, and I've got 50,000 words of the second one written. So
wow, good job. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And you also and I'm just wrapping up here, just a couple more minutes or a minute or so. It seems like you really have a strong connection with your readers, from just a couple things that you said earlier on. Do you have are you active in a Facebook group, or is it just a Facebook page or Insta or TikTok? Where do you talk with your fans?
Well, one of the things I have in my background is I trained in 10 years worth of advocacy for anti-abuse training. And I have a very big habit of putting off my work just so I can talk to my readers. I connect with them very much individually. I'll just slip into their DMs every now and then and just send a sticker or a GIF and just say hello.
Aww.
And I like to keep up with my readers' lives. Another thing I do is I set up my groups and I make them very casual. Like, people can come in and connect and make friends, and it doesn't have to be just about my books. It's about sharing each other's lives, and they'll be talking about their kids with one another or their medical conditions, and just supporting each other and lifting each other up. And it's beautiful to see the community coming together that way and just laughing and becoming BFFs. So that's probably one of the best things about.
Aw, that's awesome. Well, we love it.
Yeah.
As readers, we love it. We love authors that reach out and communicate and keep in touch. So that's awesome. I'm sure your fans love that. So, okay. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to pull you on here in a minute for the panel. But I just really appreciate it because it's just so nice to finally meet you too, because I've seen you in the group for a while as well. So That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. I just wanted to be in the coffee shop, did you guys want to go to the coffee shop? I just wanted to sit in the coffee shop and have a cup of coffee. So yeah, that was really cool. Okay, we're going to bring in Jane. Oh my gosh, here she comes. Hi. Jane, it's so exciting to meet you. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. How are you doing?
I don't know where to look. You're here on mine, but
so
the camera's there. So,
Well, then
sorry.
if I look at my camera, this is me looking at my camera, but makes me look like I look like I'm up. And then this is me looking at the bottom of my camera. So like I know that looks like I'm looking straight at the camera, and then this is me looking at the screen. So it's just like,
Yeah.
come on, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just, I'm looking
Na-
somewhere. So
nature of the beast, nature of the beast. So how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
crazy. How about you?
yeah, yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I know you were just at a book signing recently.
Yes, I was at Sweetgrass book event in Charleston. So that was super fun.
It,
Anything that Southern Bells puts on is amazing. Don't know if you've ever been to one of their signings. So
I haven't. No, I
yeah.
haven't. Um, so is that like when you said Southern Belle and you said Charleston, is that a bit of an accent that I hear from
Yeah,
you?
I'm from Tennessee. Yes.
Yeah, okay. You like how I slipped into an accent when I said that? Is that a little bit of an accent that I
Yeah,
hear?
it is. It is.
Or
So
what part of Tennessee?
I am in Chattanooga. So if you don't know where
Okay.
that is, I don't know if a lot of people do. I'm essentially right in between Atlanta and Nashville. So,
Okay. All right.
yep.
Cool. I went to it's a little bit further than that. I went to college in Banner Elk, Boone, North Carolina, which is on the
Okay.
border of Tennessee,
Okay.
and so more like Bristol area, Tri
Yeah.
Cities. Yeah. So I spent some time there, and then I have
Yeah.
family from Memphis.
Okay.
So
Now
yeah.
Memphis is a little bit of a drive for me.
Is
So
it really?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are
yeah.
you are you being in Tennessee? Are you an Elvis fan?
Sure. I don't
Okay.
dislike him, like back in the day when I was a kid, I watched all his movies, like it's a Southern thing to do. But yeah, he's not my favorite singer. Sorry.
It's okay. You just have to be. That's not like a prerequisite to
Yeah.
life.
I
So
don't
I just
know.
was
Some
curious
might
where you're from
disagree.
Tennessee. Yeah, well, people get, people are
Yeah.
funny. So, anyways, okay. So I have seen you around for a while. You are a big, big best-selling author, Missy. How's that
Oh,
feel?
weird. Yeah, I just write. So that's what I do.
You just write.
I just
Yeah,
write.
well, that's good. So
Yeah.
how long have you been writing for? And then what made you start writing?
So I released my debut in December 2017. So it's been a hot minute. Sometimes it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like I've been writing for as long as I have, but I have. And so that story was actually, I didn't know what I was writing. I was really clueless starting out, like clueless. But it was actually a fantasy romance, even though I didn't know it at the time. So
Yeah.
there you
Okay.
go. But anyway, so yeah, I released that there. Didn't know what I was doing, so it took a while. But and then I had to keep my full-time job, of course. But anyways, at the time, so I read so much growing up. And I always wanted to be an author, to be honest. But I always thought, like, I'm horrible at grammar. I can't do it. And then getting involved in the indie community, because I got, like right when the indies started coming out in 2012, 2013, 2014, I got sucked into the world. And I realized, hey, there's editors that can help me with that. So anyway, so here I am, I don't even know how many books I've written, but 50, 60 books later. So yeah.
You've written a lot of books. What were you doing before you were writing? Or if you can say, like, what was you
No,
doing?
I can. I was an accountant for 16 years. Well, I mean,
Wow.
that's including when I was writing while still doing the accounting thing. And sorry, I got distracted by a comment. I get distracted easy.
Squirrel.
And yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And so
One
that's
second.
why I
It's
have a
getting, sorry, it's
no
getting
worries.
dark in here. Oops, sorry. It's
No worries.
raining outside. So I had to open to get more. I use all natural light because of being in Florida. It's easy peasy. So,
Gotcha. No, not where I
anyways.
am. I can't do that. I actually have the camera light that you suggested. Anyways, so you should do affiliate links. But anywho, I don't remember where I was going. But yes, I was an accountant. I was actually
Sorry.
former CPA.
Okay.
Yeah. I am not an active CPA anymore. So
Yeah. No, but because you're a full-time author, you've written
I'm a
over 50
full-time author.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So what series are your most well known, would you say?
Oh, that's hard. Not that sounded very arrogant. That's not what I mean. I
No,
really,
your babies.
yeah, they're what really kind of started traction for me was Bloodshed Academy. It's when like things started changing for me from a career wise, writing wise. But like it's still me, but not. The thing with writing is you always are improving. So when you read your older books, you want to rewrite them, but at some point you can't rewrite the same stuff over and over. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But I would say probably I did the Shadow City world. So Broken Mate, I've met a lot of readers that way. Dustin Mate has done well. If you can't tell, there's a theme to most of my book ones because I write Fated Mate tropes. Fated Mate, know that.
Yes, Fated Mate.
Okay, somebody just answered 58, almost 59 books is what I've written so far. I don't know who counted for me because it said Facebook user, but thank you.
I know.
But anyways, and then Wolfmate is currently out. So, it's kind of easier with the newer releases because Amazon helps you get a little more traction with it organically than the older stuff that you have to push with advertising. So that's kind of where I am.
Yeah.
Amazon. And then I actually started a new pen name. Oh, wait, hold on. This is in my group. Never mind. I forgot I was live in my group. So anyways, I started a new pen name in Contemporary Sports Romance.
I did that, by the way. Huh? This is the first time I've done that, by the way, for one of these where I've gone live in the authors group as well.
Oh, cool. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I went live in the Twisted Sisters group when I was at FFB. I don't know if you know that I went to FFB in England a few weeks ago. And Caroline Peckham, Susan Valentine, I can never say her last name.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I went live. Some people know who they are, but
No, that's about, a lot of people. Yeah, if you're on TikTok, you know them definitely. So
you know who they are,
yeah.
Or Kindle Unlimited too, if you look at paranormal romance or romance fantasy at all. Yeah. So Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know.
We were talking about Fated Mate tropes. Your Fated Mate tropes. Why did you start writing Fated Mate tropes?
Well, because everybody wants a soulmate, right? Like that's one of the universal fantasies. There's always that one person that was just made for you out there. So, and then writing wolf shifters. I mean, I read other critters, but mainly wolf shifters.
Mainly wolf. Yeah.
Yeah. Fated Mates just made sense. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah. And any reason why wolves more than anything else, or you just?
No. Well, I do branch out a little bit. Like I'm actually writing a romantasy for my next one after Wolfmate's done. I started that. So I do try to branch out sometimes, but like wolf shifters, I don't know. It's my first love, I guess. So I always go back to them. So
yeah.
No. And I'm comfortable writing them.
Yeah, you know them. And
yeah.
So do all of your series, like, are they all in the same world or are they different worlds? No. Do they use all the same rules?
No, not necessarily. That Shadow City, that is a huge world. That's 16 books. I tried to make it where you could come in at any, because some people just don't like vampires, because it was like angel, wolf, vampire, demon, wolf, because if you have angel, wolf, you have to have demon wolves, and then angel, and then I ended it with angel wolves, which I called Silver Wolf in that world. But there's 16 of those books in there. And then I have Bloodshed Academy loosely, or well, it does tie into Half-Breed. It's like the generational thing. It's one of their kids in the Half-Breed prison. And then Wolfborn and Hidden King feed into each other, and then they tie in at the very end of Shadow City.
Okay, cool. So awesome. And you have a new book that is coming out or has came out. The Wolf. They're all wolves.
I remember the name. Most. This one is this what you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah. That one. That's the one you're giving away in the group.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah. So for anyone watching, there's still time. She's giving away a signed paperback of that and a book box package to a member in the FanGrrrl Romance Rex group, and we haven't chose the member yet. So there's still time. So go in the group and comment about her books and post about her books, and we will look at you potentially to win the prize. Yeah. Okay, sorry, that's my little.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so that one is actually about forbidden love. She's actually not a wolf shifter, but she's fated to the prince of the wolf shifters. So they can't be together. So that's a forbidden mate, kind of rejected kind of feel to it. So yeah, but my stories always have a happy ever after, y'all. So it's gonna be
good. That's good. And how about the spice and the steam? How
do you answer that? Everybody has their own. what I like to say, and I don't mean anything, I don't mean anything rude by it because, sorry, the comments, they keep distracting me. I'm sorry. Because I read all the stuff, but I have spice. It's not fade to black. Somebody just said,
like,
unalives people for
she
fun.
unalives people for fun.
I do call a lot
Lies.
of people. So Google probably has me on so many watches. It's not even funny with what I research, but that's okay. I don't know. I got distracted, but anyways, there you go. I hope I answered it. So
Yes, I think so. I got distracted as well. So I'm not sure where we are.
I don't know where I was going.
Oops,
So it is
sorry.
steam level. It is not fade to black.
Steam
It
level,
is not
yes.
closed door. That's how they complete their fated mate bond is through that. But it's not, if you're looking for super details and like an instruction manual, if you will, I'm not that gal.
Yeah. You're not.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not fade to black. You said
Nope.
it's not closed door, or it is fade to
It's
okay.
not. It is not.
So
There's some. It's just, it's steamy. It's just, it's hard to answer that because there's people who write clean and there's people who write very spicy.
Yes.
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So like so the way I think of it is like there's like a percentage of the book that's spiced in some of these books, right? So yours would probably be a smaller percentage of the book, maybe?
Well, the first book, definitely. There's normally one, maybe two.
Because it's a slow burn, right?
Well, because they can't get together easily.
There's
got to be some tension, right?
Oh yeah.
And then book 2 and 3, 3-ish, maybe 4, depending on how it goes. But they're not overly long. I don't know who Facebook user is, but Steam is good tension, lots of growls, but not too graphic, but it's there, is what they said.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Somebody said PG 12-14 rating. So there you go. It's like Vampire Diaries, like think of it like that if you watch the show.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm just happy when it happens. When I read a book and there's all this angst and this tension, and then we get to the big moment and then the door shuts. And the next day she's like, oh, that was the best night of my life. I saw the stars and the sky. And it's like, I wanted to be along that journey with them. I mean, not that that's creepy or anything, but like you get so invested,
I want the stars too, dang it.
Yeah, I want the damn stars too.
Yeah, I hear
you. The stars.
Yeah, you get the stars. There you go.
Oh, I love it. That's great. That's great. Your covers are actually really pretty too on all your books. I always know when it's a Jen Gray book when I see it on the bestseller list.
Oh,
I just think they stand out.
No, thank you. I mean, I wish I could take credit for it. The only thing I can take credit for is the people I employ to do them. They are the real magic wielders. So
they're beautiful. They're beautiful covers.
Thank you.
So
I think so
what
too.
would so you said you think of yourselves in the beginning as like a romance fantasy, the very first book you said that you wrote. What about now? How would you class all of your series today?
So honestly, what I would consider it is urban fantasy romance. It's not true urban fantasy. It's not true paranormal romance. It's a blend of the two. So the romance is as much as important as the plot.
I feel very intelligent right now because that's literally how I think of your books, from what I know of them. And I literally think that it's a cross between urban fantasy and paranormal romance. It's the two kind of combined together. It's action-oriented, streamlined, first-person writing.
Yes.
And then the romantic plot line is significant, but so is the non-romantic plot line. So.
Correct. But they also feel like if they didn't have the fated mate, the plot wouldn't be happening. And if the plot, they're dependent on one another. Yeah.
It's a driver. Right. But whereas with, like true urban fantasy, the romance is completely the subplot line. Right. Yep. And
if at
a
all.
lot of those don't have steam. Yeah. A lot of those don't really have steam either.
Some don't even have, and now all of my stuff from Bloodshed Academy on have that vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's on the horizon in the book world?
I just I'm sending the last book in the Forbidden Mate. So this world, it's 3 books. I typically write trilogies. So I just sent that to the editor. I'm writing chapter 2 today, finishing up when we get off here. A romantasy that I'm actually writing. It'll still feel like me because the person's going to have been grown up on Earth, just because I want to stick true to my brand. But it's going to be Fae and dragons. So
and dragons. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And the so, and I don't have it in front. I don't have the name memorized, but it is the one for the thank you, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I don't know, but I do know. Yeah. Show it again so everyone can see the cover. Right. So she doesn't. I'm just trying to remember. So she like have some kind of anxiety thing where things kind of shake when she gets upset and she doesn't really know. Like, how did you come up with that?
How did I come up with that?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's unique, I would say.
I really don't know. I wanted something a little different, but also, thank you, Amy, for putting Amy R. That's so nice. Sorry. She says Facebook user and then she put her name. Anyways,
it's supposed to allow them access to do it, but so far I just switched over to Restream and so far it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
I used to use StreamYard, but Restream is so much superior in every other way.
Yeah.
So I just got to do a support ticket with them or something. I don't know what's going on. Anyways.
Yeah. But I really don't even remember, honestly, how I came up with that idea, but I wanted something different. I do remember that. And I didn't want her to be a witch. I wanted her to be like, sorry, that might have been a little bit of a spoiler, but I wanted her to be something unique. And so, so I was like, and I know how her power works, but you really don't understand it until book 2 or 3. So I don't want to give it away. But
yeah, don't give away.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool, And then like there's different guys in it. So it's kind of like, which guy is the one, right? Don't you have like, I've had people tell me about it. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I've had people tell me about it that love it. So I'm just like, there's a bit of a bully romance factor too as well.
A little bit.
Like she has a bit of a tough background.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't fit in. She was bullied as a child because weird things happened. So it was more like people were, how people are always afraid of what they don't understand, that kind of situation. Yeah. I mean, if you were around someone and every time they got upset, something broke or the ground started shaking, you'd be a little weary of them too. Let's be real. So, and she has affinity to animals. So she actually helped an animal, and that's how she got this random acceptance into the school where she stumbles upon a supernatural world. And most of my books do have a group of friends, normally 3 or 4 guy friends that are really close. Like Destimate has the same kind of theme because it's just like because the alphas are gonna and the betas and stuff are gonna be together, and so there's a lot of angst and tension. Yeah, this does have a little bit of thing, and he even is kind of mean to her at first, trying to fight the connection,
the pull, the angst.
Because they're forbidden and she's human, and
so I know most of your readers and you write for MF, right? MF,
yes,
books,
I do. MF.
Fated Mates, all that. But when you just said that sometimes you have a few of the guys there, have you ever thought about branching off at all, or no? You're just you're an MF Fated Mate girl.
I am gonna. So Janelle Gray Brand is male female. Fated Mates. I did write Reverse Harem at one point under a different pen name.
You did?
I did. And it was a co-write with someone, and we just didn't get it finished, but the first book, two books were published. So yes, I did do the Reverse Harem thing one time. And just male, female feel more. It's like one of those things. I feel more comfortable writing about what I know as a person.
Yeah, of course.
So that's kind of where I am. So
yeah. No, I only thought of it because she said most of them has like a guy with their friends.
Yes.
Then, my brain just immediately goes, oh, a guy with the friends,
Yeah. And one thing I've learned from all my stories is you got to make sure they all get mated off by the end of book 3, or people are going to want you to continue the story.
Like, and you're ready to move on, right?
Yeah, it's like I've done my 3. Yeah,
you don't need a 12-book series.
And I did the 16-book thing, and I'm going to tell you, it killed my muse. It did. So I love the world. But when you do a world like that, and I don't know, they're great. It's fun. You get to know the characters really well. But then when how did they smell again, or like what did they do in book 2 that I probably need to reference in book 16? To follow it all around, and then all the plot things that you've got to make sure you get wrapped up. It was intense. So I needed to take a break. So it's so funny because I hear Amy says I thought it was an RH at first. Amy, sorry, it's not.
it's fine. I mean, I love MF books just as much as I love white chooses. I think I like to bounce around, because I'll read a bunch of white chooses and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for an MF, and I'll read a bunch of MFs and I'll be ready for, so it's just fun to bounce around.
And I'll even bounce to contemporary sometimes.
Me too.
I like them all. Yeah.
That's actually why I started the other Facebook group for the edgy contemporary, for that same reason. Because it's like when you bounce around like that, then you appreciate what you're reading so much more.
Yep.
Because you're not like jaded to reading so much of the similar stuff.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need a break. You just need to read something a little different, Sometimes you need fantasy. Sometimes you need real world, It's okay.
Yeah. And sometimes you need TV. Like I read so much. Every now and then I'm like, I need to watch a Hallmark movie tonight. Yeah. I need something completely different from vampires,
I hear you.
Just to break it up, So yeah. So that's cool. I think a lot of readers love the long series, but they also love the short series.
Yes.
And I think it's the same thing for authors. And I think authors like anyone else, they just have to mix things up. You just have to mix it up, because it just gets too, I always say, personally, I believe you should follow the momentum as a reader. Like, if you're into a book, if you're not into a book, then okay, set it down, pick it up later, because maybe it's just a mood thing. And if you pick it up at a different time, you're going to end up absolutely loving it. And, I say the same thing, like to authors I talk to. Like I have a lot of authors say things like, I really want to finish this series, but I really don't feel like writing this series. I really want to write this series. Like someone literally just said it on a spotlight last week. Someone literally said, I've got book 2 I'm supposed to be writing. My fans are, killing me for it, but I really want to write this. Yeah. It's like, well, go write that. Your fans will understand. It might be a little bit brutal, but ultimately they'll understand, if they love you and your books. So
I can't do that. Like I can write 2 books at the same time. Like this is just me as a person.
You have to finish a story.
I have to finish the story, or because not everyone. I lose the headspace of the character since I write like deep first person. Yeah, it's just easier while I'm there. So
do you feel like as you're writing the first person that you really get to know them? Like okay. I mean, I think you'd say yes, but. Like it's significant, like you're thinking about them all the time, like even when you're not writing.
Well, or I'm thinking about the book. Yeah. I'll wake up at midnight and think, and so, and I found an editor. Well, I found 4 amazing editors. I use 4 editors. I know I'm weird, but the first one has made me like know the characters before I even start writing the book, like inside out. Used to, I would get to know them as I wrote, but now it's different. So
yeah. So I see your whiteboard behind you. Is that for writing?
Yeah, it is. So and it's mostly clean because I've started a new book. So as I add stuff, it'll.
Okay. So if we later on play back of the video, if we zoom in, will we see any top secrets?
Well, this down here is where my kids have put your mom, because they're at that age where your mom is the thing. And then there is a sheet that says "Eek, a wool shifter," because they've got to make fun of me. And then up there are notes from Forbidden Mate. But I erased all the spoilers because I've got to start plotting, like keeping track of the romantasy that I'm writing. So fortunately, we came out at a good time. So even if you zoom in, you won't get anything.
Got it.
Now, if we had this in 2 weeks, that would be different.
Remind me to get a hold of you in 2 weeks and do a live.
There you go.
Yes. Oh, well, Jen, this has been awesome. It's been such a pleasure because you and I have talked a lot over the past year and a half, maybe. Just probably you've done so many giveaways in the group, like you really have. With the thank you, ma'ams, and I appreciate the support so much. I know the members love it. So
no worries.
Anyway,
I like to do things like that for readers. So.
Well, we appreciate it for sure. We do. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna pull you off, and then we're gonna start the panel. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Yep.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Hold on. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. Like we're actually broadcasting in Jen's group right now too. So, it's cool to see all the specific Jen fans coming on and talking. That's really, really cool. And I know she probably really appreciates the support. So. What a sweetheart. She is like, this has been such a good, it's so weird because I talk in between the authors and I pretend they can't hear me, but they can all hear me. They're all watching on the studio right now, but it's just the way I am. I can't help it. And I actually need a light. Let's see here. And we'll get the panel going. I can mess with that here in a second. Okay, let me pull them in. I'm like, it's getting really dark here in Florida. It's raining. Okay, there's Ella. And there's Emily. And there's Jen. Hi, guys. How you guys? Did you have a good? Has it been fun?
Yeah.
Doing the right?
I
Yeah.
didn't know you could see us.
I
Even
didn't
though
either.
it says host can see you, but
I saw all of your laughing, Ella, and I also saw. I'm just turning my little ring light on because it's getting so dark in here. Whoa! Sorry, let me just turn that down. Okay, that's a little better. Oh, I might not. No, that might not work. Ooh, goodness gracious. Okay, that might not work. Let's just go off. It is what it is.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I can see. I can see you. I also saw Emily typing. Yeah, and then Ella, I also saw your kid on your lap at one point.
oh yeah, she just got home from school. It was the first time I didn't pick her up from school, and was still sad, even though Dad went and got her ice cream and a shake, which I'm super excited about all that sugar.
Yep.
How old is she?
Yay!
How old
How
is
old is
she?
she? She's 6.
She's 6.
Aw.
So
Okay.
she's gonna be, till 9 o'clock tonight. So
Jen, how old are your kids? I know you mentioned kids.
Yeah. So my youngest turns 12 actually in a couple of weeks, and then I have a 14-year-old. So
Okay, 12 and
yeah.
14. And then Emily, I think she said her daughter was 10, if I remember correctly, or maybe that's when she wrote her book, 10 years old. Emily, what's going on, girl?
I think she's froze.
Is she froze? Let me pull her out of the studio until she
There
starts.
she
to- Oh,
goes.
wait, no, there she is. Okay.
You're upside
she's
down.
back. You're upside down, girl. You never know what you're going to get on a live. You never know. All right, girl, I'm pulling you out while you sort your camera out. I'll pull her back in a minute. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what we were going to talk about on the panel. What were we going to talk about on the panel? Oh, the reviews. We were going to talk about reviews, right? So like a lot of readers, and I talk about this a lot. I think I've said it on a couple of panels, but it's just good to get the information out. A lot of people don't realize that 3 stars is considered harmful by Amazon, right? Why is that? Why do you guys know more about that? Like why? Because the regular reader, they might feel like, okay, well, 3 stars, that's good. It's average. It's a good book. It's not like my favorite book of all time. It's not terrible. I'm just going to give it 3 stars. What is it? What does that do?
My thoughts on it, and I'm baby author, obviously, but Instagram and TikTok, they can go on there and say, this is what I review. And it doesn't, this is my rating system. This is how I rate. And that's great. You can technically go on any platform and use whatever rating system you like. But on Amazon, you can still go and do that, but it's not technically your rating system. It's Amazon's. And I think Amazon is based off of what the universal rating system has been forever. 3 is, neutral. I don't dislike, I don't like, I feel I feel neutral about it. Some people, this is how they rate and they do stuff, but Amazon or those types, they are going to go by that rating system that's been kind of around for forever. That's the way I see it as a reader standpoint. And this is before, like I said, I'm a brand new author, but when I rate something and I think of a 3, I judge it off of not my rating system, but what a 5-star rating system generally is. If you were in school today and they gave you, I don't know, a piece of art and said, rate it, and you'd rate it 3, most people are going to think that you didn't feel much towards it. You didn't hate it. You didn't like it. It is what it is. So that's just personally my thoughts on it. Amazon, a 3 does hurt you, and do what you want, but that's the system that they technically go by.
Right. Okay. Jen, do you have any thoughts on that? And it looks like, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry,
so essentially, no,
Emily.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the thing that a lot of people don't realize is Amazon, when you rate a book 3, 2, or 1, it's usually weighted heavier than 4s and 5s.
Right.
So your ranking is, if you start getting a ton of 3 stars, your ranking is going to really get hit the more people do. And And whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent for whatever reason, if people really love it and it's 4 and 5, they don't get the same weight. So, and then in general, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like organically they push 4 and higher books than ones with lower ratings.
Right. Okay. So, because ultimately, Amazon is the place where authors make their money because people buy books through Amazon, right?
Yep.
So Goodreads really doesn't matter, not really, because you're not buying books. I mean, it does matter, but
it does,
but not like Amazon when it comes to sales. So Amazon, because it's so sales oriented, and the algorithm of pushing those books out for people to see and emailing them out, that's why it matters so much. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, and if you look, there's always a bar or something that you can look when you're looking for books, and it'll be like 4 stars and above. And so your book has to be rated that in order to show up there. And so it's just, if you like a book, it's best for the author if you do a 4-star. I mean, and then, if you love it, 5. If you thought it was okay but needed work, that's where a 3 would probably come into play, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, and obviously people should review. We're not saying not to review, honestly. It just makes them just educating to make them aware that the impact their rating will have. That's all.
And, you can put whatever you want to in your comment. If it were me rating on my scale, this would be 3, not 4, but, blah, 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 blah. And here's why. I mean, you can totally put whatever we're not asking for you, to say something that's not true. So,
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I also get questions about a lot from ARC readers about if I'm not really into an ARC, do I need to finish it? And so how do you feel about that for your ARC readers?
I mean, I'm brand new. These are difficult questions for me to sit there and answer. I don't think if you're not enjoying a book, don't read it. I think it's common courtesy. I think I would appreciate somebody telling me, hey, this wasn't for me. I don't want to finish it. That's fine. Not every book is going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to like it.
Right.
That's my personal thoughts on that. I just like to get a heads up personally. It's for a lot of the times it's for an honest review, or a lot of the times a lot of times they may not want to do it at all, a review, but I just like to get a heads up as all, because then you're just kind of wondering, did they just try to get a free book, or are they actually, trying to support me? Was there something wrong with it? It's really nice to get that feedback too, to know if there is some sort of issue.
Yeah.
Right. How do you feel, Jen?
That's a loaded question. Okay, so
I do think you guys are in very different places in your writing career, so it's very interesting to hear the different answers. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is my opinion, and once again, I don't judge anyone for how they handle things. This is just my opinion. So here's the thing. When I give ARCs out to new people, that I try to do it with people who've read me. So once again, this is my benefit versus a newbie who've already read me and they already know my branding. So hopefully if they know my branding, they're going to like the story. Right. But of course there have been times like in my the new genre that I've done under a brand new pen name that I'm trying to kind of, to where I didn't have that privilege, and it hurts, but that's okay. Right. You all got to start somewhere new. So here's my take on it as a newbie pen name and a seasoned author in the paranormal romance genre. If you get an ARC and you don't like the book, that's okay. It is totally fine. When you do need to message the author, in my opinion, to let them know, hey, I'm not feeling it. Yeah. I've came across situations where the person was still adamant that I told you I'd review it. I feel like I should. That's okay. That's your prerogative. I did give you a free book. The only thing I would ask if you're going to do that is 1, let the author know, and 2, wait 2 to 3 weeks till after their release to give them that review.
That's a big thing. I think I'm going to say that on every spotlight. I'm going to have someone said that on the last one too. Give it time because of all the Amazon algorithms.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do. Is at least if you're gonna, if you are, which you have the right to, give it 2 or 3 weeks. Let them get the momentum with the release and the newness that Amazon will give them without coming in and getting hit immediately. It's still going to happen. I always get hit immediately, but still, if I'm giving you an arc, just give it a week or 2, please, if you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. The other thing is Euro. If you talk to the author and you don't feel comfortable just say, "Are you okay if I don't review this?"
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just don't like the story, and that's okay. It's not even maybe the writing that's the problem, or even you just might not connect with something, and that's okay. But you can talk to the author and see if they want you to review if you're comfortable not reviewing.
Yeah.
So just talk to them. And if you're going to give them feedback, like I like feedback, like what didn't you like? Come from a place of caring.
Yeah.
No, don't not be honest, but don't. So in this world, that sometimes it's easy to forget that the person you're talking to is a person too, because it's all screens and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong. And I've been guilty of it too.
Yeah.
But come to a place with caring and be more constructive and helpful than mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was long-winded, but that's my take.
No, it's good.
Authors are still people.
They are.
You don't necessarily have to be rude to help them out, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like I didn't connect with the character because this, and this, and this.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You know what a lot of readers don't know, and I've actually been reading up on this myself a lot lately because of the fact that I'm going to be publishing in the future one day, the fact that, I have all these authors that I talk with and people that, we have the community chat, the art community chat every Wednesday, right? Where people drop the art requests. I think both of you have done that chat before. I think so. But is that, oh my God, I just lost my thought. I was in the middle. You know what it is? I've got Emily on the bottom. She's sitting there. She's trying to get back in the panel. Hold on. Oh, I know it. The rules on Amazon. So a lot of people, sorry, I just got completely distracted. A lot of people don't realize that the rules for Amazon for reviews and any reviews on any product, any book, anything, is you're not supposed to write a review if it's your own product and you are financially gaining from it. And you're not supposed to pay people for reviews. Okay. That's a big thing. Sorry about that earlier. Just like woof in and out there. So because of that, Amazon does allow for ARCs, and they actually specifically say advanced reader copies in their terms and conditions. Yeah, I'm sure you've read it, Jen. So, but what they say is that a reader cannot say, I've received this ARC in exchange for this review. Like I'm writing this review in exchange for an ARC. The in exchange to Amazon means that like it's almost like money exchanging hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like if you write that, then Amazon's going to take your review down. You can disclose that it's an ARC, but you're supposed to say that these opinions are my own, or honest opinions, and not have any way, shape, form saying that you got the book for free. So anyways, I think I'm going to start saying that in every spotlight too, so readers know, because a lot of people will go in there and say, I got this in exchange. I mean, I see it all the time, an honest, an ARC in exchange for my honest review or something. And
you used to be able to do that, didn't you? You used to be.
Maybe, but now it actually says in the terms and conditions it can't be in exchange.
No, I noticed that. It's such a common phrase that I think that you were, I mean, y'all would know better than I, but I think you used to be able to.
Yeah, but Amazon started tracking down.
Which might be confusing, those longtime ARC readers.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So anyways, it's too bad about Emily. I've been seeing her. She's been trying, her camera's been moving and she hasn't quite gotten it right. Yeah. And that's why I haven't pulled her on yet, but she's off again now. So sorry guys that are here to watch Emily, and Emily, I'm sorry too, that it's not working out for you technically. That stinks. Someone just made a comment on that too, that they enjoyed watching her time. So that's a bummer. But anyway, so let's talk about genres real quick. So like romance, fantasy, a lot of people don't understand the differences in the different genres. And when even just from the cover, like typically covers look very different, right?
Mhm.
So what is your take on the different romance fantasy or fantasy romance, romantasy, paranormal romance, and urban fantasy? Jen, what's your take on all those?
Well, it's getting
subjective.
harder to tell the difference.
It is.
It is.
People
It's
are
really,
merging.
yeah. Yeah. So typically this is a urban fantasy romance.
Yes.
You
can
know,
tell by the cover too.
yeah, that's why I was holding it up. It wasn't really for promo, but like,
Yeah, sorry. But no, I mean,
no,
I didn't
yeah,
mean, of course you were.
yeah,
Apologies.
but no. But yeah, so, normally a single girl and a critter or whatever, vampire, there wouldn't be one.
I like
Yes,
the
I'm
critter. She's got her critters.
I do. I have critters. And then fantasy is going to be, I'm more fantasy. Like normally you're going to have a more fantasy palette, if that makes sense. A lot of them now are object covers or topography, like my Of Shadows and Fae one that I had. Yeah, show your. Yeah,
this is
there
romance.
you go.
That's definitely romance
yes,
fantasy.
That's the
Hardcore.
color scheme and everything. That's perfect for the genre.
No people on it typically. There's flowers or swords or crowns.
Yeah. And if there are people, they're normally more illustrated.
Yes.
Yep.
Not like a person that like what mine looked like. So yeah, and then paranormal romance typically will have a couple or a dude. Now sometimes once again they're all blurring together. Sometimes urban fantasy romance will have a couple, but like a shirtless dude is usually a good indicator it's a paranormal romance or contemporary if there's no magic or whatever. So,
yeah. How about you, Ella? Do you have anything to add to that, or is that pretty much the same?
No, what she said.
What she said. A
There's
lot of
literally
people
nothing I can add on to that.
I run into readers and even like folks on my team, the FanGrrrl team, that like I'll talk to explain the genres. A lot of people just don't really understand the difference. It really doesn't matter. In the fact for a reader, it really doesn't matter. You just pick up a book and you love it. But like because my Facebook group is a recommendation group, if someone gets on there and says, I'm looking for a book that's like Fourth Wing, and someone gets on there and says, oh, go read Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Yeah.
That's not, there's similar traits, but romance fantasy is not in our modern world. Right. And paranormal romance is typically, that there's a big difference in that,
Yeah.
I am
especially with the
starting
world
to see
building.
that a lot of aspects are starting to kind of blend a little bit, not too much, but you see like a lot of like I've noticed with some fantasies, like even with mine, that it has a more modern vernacular, or they have plumbing. Like I know I have plumbing in mine because I didn't want to go through all the scents and
Hey, it's your magical world. They didn't have to stink.
Well, I'm so big with it's my world. I'm gonna do what I want. But but you are noticing some of that. I could be wrong, but there wasn't a lot of like fated mates originally in fantasy, and you're starting to see that a lot more, and that's definitely a paranormal romance element. So you're starting to see these little pieces kind of getting incorporated and crossing genres, which I genuinely appreciate, but it's nice to see that kind of change because like me personally, I love to read. Magic is usually my go-to. I love other stuff too, but I love paranormal romance. I love urban fantasy. I love fantasy. I love clean. I love spicy. I love everything in between. So if you can give me, for marketing purpose, you still need to be specifically in one area. But it's nice to get those little touches in there, especially with like having a more modern speech. I appreciate that because like I love Game of Thrones. Like I am obsessed with it. But when I tried reading it several years ago, I couldn't read it because it was, a little difficult. So it's nice that for a lot of these people that are getting into fantasy or other stuff like that, that you can have those elements in there. So to get into the genre, it's really nice.
Well, and even like people like me, I know a lot of my friends, we did the shared world, and our premise was the girls grew up on Earth and went to this fantasy world. So it is romantasy because they're only on Earth for like a chapter or two.
Yeah.
And just like the one I'm doing, because my voice is very modern,
Mm-hmm.
and I want my readers to resonate with that. So
Yes.
I'm doing the same thing where she, like the end of first chapter, she's going to the Unseelie King's, anyways, world. So yeah,
It just has more of your voice in it, and it's nice, I think.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm reading.
My
My reading voice.
I've got a dog going in the background. It's making me wonder, like, did my husband trip and fall? Why is he not taking care of the dog? I've got, we got to pull Emily in. Emily, are you finally ready to come in, girl? Are you finally ready? Okay. All right. We got Emily in. And then, yeah, so it's just chaotic. So sorry for that. Hi, Emily, you're back.
Oh, we can't hear her.
You poor thing. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Emily, do me a favor. What we were going to do, we were going to start wrapping up. If you'll drop in the comments how people can get a hold of you, like how can they start following you? I would do it probably through, you probably could do it through Restream and see, maybe it'll go on all the videos. I don't know. Like all your socials, your Facebook group, and then any of your upcoming releases, put all that information in there so people can follow you and go grab your stuff. Okay. And I'm gonna pull you out, girl, just because the camera's, while you're typing. It was lovely having you on, Emily. Hi, Emily. Oh goodness, poor thing.
No.
Let's go. Why don't we go around and just talk about your just any information you want to tell readers, about your books, about where they can find your books, about your next upcoming releases, any of that stuff, any final stuff that you want to communicate, upcoming news or whatever.
Do you want to go first, Ella?
Nah, you can go.
Okay. Okay. All right. So my Wolfmate just released, I don't remember, sometime in a month or a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, the book 2 releases the 18th of this month, and the book 3 will release in June. So those are what I have coming like imminently down the pike. If you want to get in touch with me, I have my website, jenellgray.com, my Facebook group, Facebook page, email. There you can find them at any of the places. I try to be easy. I try to respond. Just be patient with me if it does take me a hot minute, because I do have a lot of signings coming up. So it takes me a hot second to sometimes get back when I'm doing things like that. So I think I answered all your questions, but that's the best way to get a hold of me. Yep.
You did good. Okay. And how about you, Ella?
Okay, so my book, To Bleed a Kingdom, you can get it on the ebook. It's actually in Kindle Unlimited, so you can get that there. You can get the paperback and the hardcover through any major retailer. I know there was an issue with Amazon delisting it and canceling pre-orders and all that stuff. It was resolved. That was a them thing because it's published through Ingram Spark. So, but that's all cleared up now. So you can usually get it in like 3 to 5 days, just like normal shipping time too. But so you can get paperback or hardback through Amazon or any store, Barnes and Nobles, Blackwell's, pretty much anywhere now. I'm fairly easy to get a hold of. You can, for when I have my Ella Dawes reader group, fairly simple. And you can also get a hold of me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm a bit more active on Instagram than I am TikTok because, yeah, that's just the one that I focus on more. But either way, you can message me anytime and stuff, and I get back to you guys fairly quickly. I don't know if I can say this. I'm just gonna go with it, so hopefully I'm not breaking a rule. But I am doing a giveaway in my reader group right now I had the PR boxes made, and I've got one last PR box.
Who's making a rule?
Well, I don't know.
Live is entirely different than the group.
I have no idea when I can talk about this stuff.
This is your spotlight to promote yourself, girl, and what you got going on. So that's fine. All right.
Well,
that's fine. You got giveaways? Talk about the giveaways.
I do. I managed to get one extra PR box for myself, and I'm actually doing a giveaway in Ella Dawes reader group right now.
Okay.
It'll be up for a couple of days. So if you guys are interested, check that out. And book 2, I'll let you know when I have a definitive date. So I don't like to rush completely the second book. This one's kind of nuts. The second book is going to be even crazier. So it's a bit complex. So I don't want to give a definitive date when I'm not positive that I can get everything live. It was interesting publishing the first time around. So yeah, that was crazy.
It's hard.
Right.
It's hard to figure it all out.
Oh, I researched. I'm like, I got this.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm not at that stage yet, but I'm probably going to be pinging you guys.
Oh,
when
feel
I
free
get
to.
there.
Please, King.
What do I do?
I am so good. I'm so good at messing everything up at the first time, but I do really good the second time, and this is with everything. So, it sucks too because I only got one kid. I don't even have like a makeup thing, so hopefully this goes well with this time. But hopefully the second time around, I think I'll be golden. Hopefully.
Yeah, you got this.
You do. Well, you guys, this has been a pleasure. Seriously, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on and like meeting you in person, me to you guys, to both of you, and then just for everyone else getting to see you too. Readers love this. They just love to see the authors. The I was gonna say the man behind the book, but that's not really right. Is it the woman behind the book?
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Nice meeting y'all.
Nice to meet you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.